Okay, so what they suggest having is they want you to have a candle burning the whole time during the lesson, I guess. I mean, I've read the lesson a bunch, and it doesn't ever really call out the candle till the very end of the lesson. But they want you to light the candle before the lesson starts so that the kids aren't freaking out about lighting the matches and stuff. I'm just going to put a lighter in there. And then Devin is drilling a block, just a little 2x4 like block thing to hold this. This, we didn't even know we had it, so I just ordered one on Amazon. It's a little bit nicer, but it's big like this, and it'll be in a block, and so that'll be a little display that goes on throughout. So the thing with this lesson, it's all patriotic, which we've already talked about John Philip Sousa, and we were kind of talking about patriotic stuff at one point. But this lesson is it's all about, yeah, patriotic stuff. So I just, if you have red, white, and blue, hi, come on in.
Oh, it's like, here are all the colors.
I know, no one's here. So if you have red, white, and blue clothes, that's ideal because it's all, it's Francis Scott Key and Gilbert Stuart. So when you start, when you start your lesson, they suggest that you dim the lights, and I actually did this. I had already started preparing this lesson when I just did my 7 lessons the other day, and it got totally mixed up in my mind because Monet paints at different times of day and the light really changes, I was getting messed up. So I did this demo during my last lesson, forgetting that it wasn't in that lesson, it was in this lesson. So what it tells you to do is to have some volunteers come to the front of the classroom, and you can drape them with a color, or you can just pick out colors, different colors, and have them come in the front of the classroom. And with very, very low light, you can hardly tell the difference. Like you can't, it says to have some fabric, but I just figured I'd put these two, because they're red and blue, put these two in the wagon, and you can have, when the class is dark, you can have them drape this over them. And if it's dark enough, you truly can't tell the difference between the color. The hard thing is, it's hard to get the classrooms dark enough. Because of the light with the mini blinds, it never gets really, really that dark. So you can kind of tell, like when it gets dark in the room, and you can put enough shadow on it, you can kind of give them the idea. I'm like, when it gets dark enough, these both look gray. And then you shine your flashlight on it. So I have a little flashlight here. I've got a big mag light I'm going to put in. I just can't have to find it. So then you shine the flashlight on it and you can see, whoa, that's bright red. This is blue. It's clear that they're 2 different colors. But when the light is really low, but by experience from the last lesson, it's hard to get it dark enough in the room. So you don't want to get a kid up there in neon green or bright, bright color, because it doesn't really fade. There's too much light. So these 2 things to drape over the kids actually work really well, and I'll put those in the wagon. And you have to be careful when you set this thing up in the front and you light the candle, that this with its little piece of wood holding it up is far enough from the candle. So it doesn't, yeah, I mean, it would be kind of fun, but yeah. When we did this little observation, so what do we need to make the color? What element is it that we need? Yes, so you have to have light to make color. And what's the opposite of light? It's on our little list. It's one of our art elements. We've got line.
Shadow.
Yes, so we taught, so shadow is really big. So I've ordered a prism. It's supposed to come today, so it didn't come in time. I actually have 2 prisms. I have one that's a triangle and one that's like a ball, a crystal ball that sends the, anyway, I ordered those for FAME. And so when it's dark, it'll be dark enough to be able to shine the flashlight through the prism, and you can put the rainbows up on the wall. So you'll have the kids, they'll want that, especially the little kids will totally get into that. And so you'll do that around the room. And so then they can understand that light actually has all colors are in light. And so light's made up of all these different colors. And so you can spend as little or as long as you want. I'm sure that the kids would probably want to.
You can have the big kids come up and actually do it.
Oh yeah, totally. And then, so we use the light and the shadow to define shapes. So there's this is something that's a little tricky, and depending on how artistic you are, you may or may not want to do what I'm planning on doing. They want you to show how light and shadow defines shape. They say, these drawings are horrible. They say to have a circle, just a plain old circle on dark paper, and you can see that it's a circle. So how would I make this circle look like a ball? What would you do to make this circle look like it was round and like a sphere, like a ball, instead of just like a flat pancake?
You need like shading and shadow.
Yeah, you gotta have some shading and shadow. So what I ended up doing just in like 2 minutes just now at the counter, the problem is it's reverse. So if you want to do this for the kids, you would need dark paper. I did it on, I actually did it on my lesson on the back of the page to just see what it took to do it in pencil. And this is one that I printed, so this will be in there so you can show them. It takes forever to do it in pencil. Even if you're a really good artist, you have to shade in, like you leave a gap right here, you shade everything in, and as you're going, you come back and reinforce. It took me like 20 minutes to do it in pencil. So you can show them this and show that here's the light, this is your highlight, you've got a mid-time, so it basically goes your darkest, you've got the darkest is right around here because there's reflected light under here. So your cast shadow here is dark and your shadow here. Those are the two darkest places. But if you're trying to do it on a piece of black paper, it's the opposite. So you concentrate here, and then you have to leave this gap here. Then you can put the highlight in here, but you need to leave this dark here. So, but this is an alternative activity for the kids to do. If you feel confident that you could teach them how to do it, the kids will love learning how to draw a sphere. So and older kids, like in Mr. Starr's class, I think that would be really fun for them. So you'll show them this, and then you'll show them what it looks like.
So will there be black paper in?
I'll have black paper. So there are different activities you can do. There's black. I'll have black paper, lots of it in the. I'll have lots of black paper for you, and then I'll have the chalk for you to do. But for the little kids, because drawing a sphere is too hard for the really little kids, they have the idea of making fireworks and smearing the chalk with your finger. So concentrating and making kind of a swirl with different colors of chalk and smearing it so that the light diffuses out. And you could do that for any age group. The fireworks are kind of fun for the little kids because they're easy to do. And that is a project. Did any of you guys do the sponge painting one? Yeah, I did it, I think 3 times out of my 7 classes. And it says it's going to be really fast. It was not fast. And compared to the one we did, I did one with Paul Clay where we drew Castle in the Sun, and there were oil pastels and there were watercolors. That took forever. That one was like a 45-minute project. This one wasn't, the sponge painting. This is a really fast project. So I'm just going to have also a couple cans of hairspray in there so that when all of them are done, we can take them outside and spray them so the kids don't get chalk everywhere when they take them home or whatever. So you've got the fireworks for the little kids, like kindergarten through 2nd or 3rd. You could do the fireworks. And then they suggest you draw fruit. I have pictures of fruit that the kids can try to draw. I'm actually going to put a few pieces of actual plastic fruit so that if the older kids want to try to draw that in a bowl, they have a still life to work from. I'm going to have white paper in there too because I think drawing the fruit on black paper. So here's the fireworks, which didn't turn out. This is not a great example. I'll make a better example for that. It's hard to do shadow, reverse shadow. So for the fruit, I would suggest, because I'll have all different colors of chalk, I would suggest doing it on white paper. So I have fruit drawings. So I've jumped all the way ahead to the art project. Sorry, guys. But I have a couple of drawings that are done with chalk. This one, it has black outlines on it, so it's not fantastic. But you can tell, here's the highlight. You can tell that how they shaded the fruit to make it look round. The grapes, there's light on the sides, This one's a little bit more realistic. Strawberries are really hard to do. I don't know that I'm going to put that in there. And then these